Have you ever been hijacked by a volatile emotion like fear or panic or anger? Do I see any heads shaking? Yes. Well, it happened to me last week. I was scheduled to give a speech on positive intelligence at another Toastmasters club, Oakland 88. I diligently copied down the address. They had moved. And I put it in my GPS. And because I was giving this speech at 7 o'clock in the morning, I left at 6:15 to give myself plenty of time. My GPS got me to the location in 20 minutes. I looked around. There was no building that would be a place for a Toastmasters meeting. There was this old beat up cinder block building that was boarded up. I drove up the street. I drove back down the street. It was kind of a seedy neighborhood. So I called my contact, Steve, where are you? Where's the building? And he said, it's Kaiser. It should be right there. I said, it's not. He said, where are you? I said, 3600 McDonald Avenue. He said, oh no, it's 3600 Broadway. It's at the corner of Broadway and McDonald. Oh, okay. He says, don't worry. We'll have other people go first. Give yourself plenty of time. You have plenty of time. So I diligently put the new address in the GPS and I headed out. And wouldn't you know, the GPS decided not to speak to me verbally. Instead, it just had the information on its map. So now I'm driving down the highway looking at my cell phone. Okay, I know this exit, so I take the exit to Harrison. I'm driving along, and suddenly it says, turn on 29th Street. Whoops, it just passed me. So I go to the next street, and I wander around in some neighborhood, and finally get back down to Harrison. And I say, well, I better turn around and go back. And I get on Oakland, and guess what? There's no streets in between Oakland and Harrison until you go all the way back to the highway. So I come around, and this time I get on 29th. But now I am really very upset. I am hijacked. I start screaming. Now, I'm a strong believer in releasing volatile emotions so they don't get stuck in your body and make you sick. But you should pull over to the side of the road. I didn't. I was way too freaked out. So I keep on driving and I calm down because I've got to Broadway. Yes, I'm on my way. All I need is 3600. And I'm driving along, and on the one side, it's like 28 something. So it must be on this side, but there's no sign. So I keep on driving, and now the numbers are going up. So I turn around and come back, and I drive into this driveway thinking that maybe that's where the parking lot is I'm supposed to park in. No parking lot, just drop off. So I call Steve again. I see, Steve, where am I supposed to park? And he says, well, I'll come down and I'll show you where. I said, yeah, but where are you? This building takes up a whole block. I kind of wung it. I just turned right, and there he was. Oh. So he gets in the car and he shows me the way to get to the garage, not parking lot, 5th level. We take an elevator up and another elevator down. How would I have ever found this place? But meanwhile, I know I'm going to have to speak soon. I start doing PQ reps. I start rubbing 2 fingers together to get into present. I get into the room, somebody is speaking, I sit down, I start taking deep breaths because I have to deliver a speech, which I didn't get a chance to practice. Finally, it's my turn. I get up there. I look around the room. I look in people's eyes. And I launch my speech. And I nailed it. It was, well, not exactly perfect, but it was good enough. I was very happy. People applauded me at the end. I sit down. Steve gives me an evaluation. He says, not only was this a fabulous speech, but I personally got a firsthand view of the effect of positive intelligence because I saw somebody go from stressed to sage. I felt pretty good about that. Later, I found out that Steve had been the one to give me the wrong address. In sage perspective, there is always something positive that you can get out of any difficult situation. Well, I did. My husband showed me how to use Google Maps with the satellite to actually see where you're going. So if I do that in the future, I will not get taken to the wrong address. But let's face it, if you're speaking at different locations, if you are a professional speaker, things happen. Technology breaks down. Directions get muddled. All kinds of things can happen. So I strongly believe that positive intelligence is the way to go. And the more you do this rubbing your fingers together, the better off you are. I would like to tell you much more about positive intelligence, but I don't have time. There's the yellow flag up there. Instead, I would like to invite you to a masterclass tomorrow on Zoom at 4:30 on positive intelligence. I'll put the link in chat. In the meantime, keep on doing those PQ reps, rub those fingers together, deep breathe. If you get hijacked by a volatile emotion, release that emotion, because if you don't, it'll be a little bit like trying to hold down a wild stallion trying to get away. But remember, the more reps you do, the smarter your brain is. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.